Good morning and welcome to the channel. Today I finally get a chance to interview one of my students who was quite reluctant to do this at the beginning, but after multiple persuadings he has finally agreed to come on board and do this with us. The reason why I'm doing this interview today is because this guy has been exemplary in every possible aspect, and I have never seen a student like him with so much of seriousness, so much of dedication towards studies. Apart from this, he enjoyed everything that came his way, be it Netflix, be it Fortnite, be it PUBG. I think there were also times when he used to come in class, I was busy in some work, and he used to play PUBG for a brief period of time. Despite of this, his dedication is worth giving an example for. I welcome Allan Prabhakar to the channel today. Thank you, Allan, for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure that you're taking my interview. It feels really good.
First of all, congratulations on getting into Manipal. You have really proved that you would achieve what you want through this admission that you have got. How do you feel on it?
It feels really great. I mean, from the beginning of my 12th standard, I always wanted to get into Manipal because I heard a lot of good things about Manipal and how they go through their academics as well as the extra activities which they have there. So it's like an all-round development in Manipal. And even my brother is working there as a professor, and he's also completing his PhD as well there. So when last year he called me around this time and he was like, you have to come to Manipal, you have to give the entrance exam. It is a college where you once you step in, you will be like, I have to do my degree and BTech from this college. So once I set this goal that I have to go to Manipal, and once now today I have got an admission there for civil engineering, I'm really happy about it.
What really made you think that you should not stick to one branch of engineering and go for engineering as a whole?
First of all, nowadays people will mostly go for computer science, even if they don't have a lot interest in it, but just because of the placements of future and everything. But then for me it was never like that. I'm good in computers, I'm also good in designs, so for me it was never a problem that I have to do computer science only and I have to sacrifice my dream college for that. But I always kept my options wide, whether let it be electronics, computer science or civil engineering. I always had these options. As a whole, I had 5 options given to me when I went for the counseling in Manipal. So I took civil engineering because many of the people suggested me that in the future it has a good scope, and even there the counselors were really helpful. They walked me through the whole course, what this course has to offer and everything like that. So as civil engineering I got a lot of interest when they started telling me about it. And yeah, so I was never too stuck to one thing. It was always multiple things, because that helps you to see the new aspects of engineering, not just sticking to one branch. That won't help.
Now, this is really, I think, the attitude which every one of us should have, because in today's world where there is a lot of outsourcing, there are a lot of branches and options coming up. Scopes are not as limited as they used to be somewhere around in the 90s or even in the early 2000s. If you have kept your angles wide, if you are if you are not narrow-minded but rather you are broad-minded, I think it will really open up to all that you really want in life. Now, I really recall the first day when we met and you had come and we had a long 1 hour discussion about how we can really go about it. And I also remember you later on telling me that you saw the board and then you realized that you don't just excel just because the name of the class is excellence. But what do you recall about the day one?
Day one, I was really nervous because for the past few years I was been studying with a tutor at home, and I really didn't go to any classes outside. So the first time I came in, it was and we started having this conversation about how the syllabus is and how we should cover it up in the due time. So yeah, that time, the first day, I think I got really free with sir, because the way he started explaining things about the syllabus and how we should complete it in time was something different as no teacher has done before.
But I think that 1 hour was a symbol of the kind of bonding that we are going to share in the coming days and obviously in the coming years. One thing that I have always been really fond about is your savage attitude.
Yeah, making people laugh was always my like intention, and it will always be. It's very fun to make people laugh and make jokes like this, and
And
yeah,
it is also one of the most difficult parts to make people laugh again and again.
yeah. But yeah, I try. It's not that hard of a job, but yeah.
I remember one thing, you had asked how much is the fee, you paid it for the first time, and then I had told you the fee for the whole year, which I think there was some miscommunication in, and you got the exact amount in the next month, thinking that it was the fee for 1 month. I have never seen students so accepting and easily paying when it comes to an English class. Didn't you think that okay, English class की fee इतनी क्यों है?
No, not really, because when my home tutor used to come home, he takes around 6,000 for maths and science. So I was like,
Per month?
Yeah, per month.
Hmm.
So I was like, he is taking 6,000 per month, so even the English class might be 4,000 per month. So that is why I came with 4,000 the next month also.
Yeah, sometimes I really think I should have taken that 4,000, partied a lot. Coming to the most important part, despite of playing Fortnite, playing PUBG, watching Netflix, chilling around, despite of all this, the best part I remember is that you used to come one fine day and you used to tell me, sir, मेरे पास करने के लिए कुछ नहीं था. तो क्या? तो कुछ नहीं सर, मैंने पूरा टेक्स्ट बुक पढ़ डाला इंग्लिश का. I really haven't seen a student who does that in 4 to 5 hours time. You read the textbook, complete textbook, 34 chapters 5 times. So if we multiply, I think that's a huge number. What got you into being serious about English?
Now you know that I read a lot of novels. When during that time I ran out of novels, so there was only one book to read. That was the textbooks. That is why I continuously went to read the whole English textbook. It was really good reading such kind of stories from that textbook. That is why.
Yeah, I think because I remember the syllabus had not gone ahead, but you had still read everything that came your way. People would be like, I don't have any other novel to read. I'll go and buy another. I'll read a PDF, but I won't read the textbook.
Yeah.
I think this is really different.
I don't have patience to wait for another one. That is why.
We actually keep on telling students that Netflix, Fortnite, PUBG, these are heavy distractions because once students sit in front of it, they do not really get back to studies and then the pile keeps on increasing. How do you deal with these distractions?
I think this really took a toll on me because I started sleeping less during this time. So once, even if I played in like a whole evening or something like that, I always used to be up till like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night and sit and study mostly. And my parents didn't know about it because I don't want to keep them up because of me. So yeah, I used to sit and study. I used to go through all my textbooks because for boards, obviously textbooks are number one priority. And yeah, I used to be awake till 3 o'clock, and then again go to sleep at 3:30 somewhat at that time, and get up at 7 o'clock. And I used to be here in an hour at
Correct.
9 o'clock.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. That is really great because many times I have chalked out the timetable for students and they were still not able to live up to the timetable. I never remember that you came here and told me, sir, I'm too sleepy, I'm not feeling like it, or never did it happen. I've seen students doing this continuously. Sir, आज बहुत नींद आ रही है, आज नहीं पढ़ा जाएगा, sir, रात को नींद ही पूरी नहीं हुई. I haven't even ever heard you saying that, sir, I haven't eaten anything since morning, so I can't do that. How do you deal with this?
See, first of all, the amount of sleep that got reduced was because of Fortnite and PUBG. Because in everyone's life, there are always secondary things.
I just hope someone understands this.
That is always secondary because they won't really fetch you anything ahead. So yeah, that was my decision. Because of my decision, I used to get sleepless, and I cannot, force anyone else as a teacher as you. I cannot force them that yeah, I didn't sleep tonight. Please don't take the class and all. That was my decision not to sleep for a lot. So yeah, that I cannot force that on anyone.
But I think the way you prioritize things, I think that is one of the reasons why this went really well. Don't you think that?
Yeah, I prioritize things as in like how important they are for that current time period. Like when boards came, I never studied for a CET or anything, any of those exams. So yeah, when boards came, I only studied for boards, and I left all this playing games and everything. And then when these important like competitive exams came, yeah,
Hmm.
I never studied continuously for those. I studied, if the exam is on Friday, I would start studying on Saturday before that, and then yeah, for one whole week I'll just study for that exam. When you start giving competitive exams, you realize that the syllabus is what you have been studying in 11th and 12th. So it's mostly you have to just revise some few topics, go through the CBSE books for some extra examples. Yeah, mostly that, because even if you see today's this year's JE paper, which was pretty basic and CBSE, like from the CBSE textbook, I didn't study for the this JE mains, but I still managed to get 82% percentile in that, which I know it doesn't qualify me into advance or anything, but yeah, without studying, if I just revising from the textbooks, I got that much is, I feel that's good for me. Yeah, so when like these exams came, I started opening CBSE books and NCRT books, and just kept the state books aside. So yeah, that way you should just see what is in the time period and how you should prioritize your things.
Do you think that getting 82 percentile, do you think that concept clarity is utterly important for all these things?
Yeah, if I had started studying for JE from the beginning of my 11th or my 12th, I would have been really clear in my concept even for 12th standard. Yeah, but I didn't do that because I didn't want to go to any coaching classes or anything because they consume a lot of time. I tried to do it on my own, and obviously my mother helped me a lot in that. Concept clarity is something that your basis is extremely clear, and if I ask you anything, you will be like, it should be like rotating in your head that, oh, this is the answer of this. You should not spend a lot of time thinking, because obviously these exams test your timing also. So yeah.
Yes, because I've noticed one thing always, that despite of all the distractions or maybe even the lifestyle that you live, you are always clear with the concepts, and that is one of the prime reasons why these examples are so simple. Like, I think the very fact that you are saying that I could afford to study just 1 week, I studied on my own, I did not join coaching classes, and if just after doing the basic I get 82 percentile, I could have got more. I think this could not have happened if not for concept clarity. Isn't it so?
Yeah, concept clarity, because I was only reading the textbooks. I was not reading any other reference book until it came to these exams. And yeah, my mom was like, I should have studied more and everything like that. But then, given the fact of my rank and all came such a good place, I think once you like clear up concepts and everything, and if you really want to get into IITs and all, you just do the advanced stuff. It is like more than sufficient for you to get into. So yeah, the concept is always the basis is always something you have to work on.
I think concept is God.
Yeah, and probably.
And even I think we can say that textbook is God.
Yeah, textbook, you have to be clear with your textbook, because even my professors in the college helped me out. They were like, if you're clear with your textbook, your exams are going to go really well, because the advantage with Maharashtra board is that they literally take the questions from the between of the lines from the textbook. So if you have read the textbook properly, you will be at ease to answer those questions.
I remember one day we had this conversation that riches or material things that we own do not define any kind of relationship. I remember you telling me one time that people are friends because they see your father's money, or they see your lifestyle, or they see how much you can afford things in life. I have seen you with all the big grand watches on your hand. I have seen you with a big heavy phone in your hand with 5 to 6 covers which really cost a lot, with a lot of Netflix memberships and everything. Despite of having so much of money to spend, I always found that you were still down to earth. You never defined friendships by the amount of richness other person had.
This all comes from my father actually, because I have seen him work for all these years, like literally working very hard, and coming from a family where they were six brothers, and all of them today are what they are, is really a great example for me, because from nothing, when you come up to be such great people, like everyone knows you and all, it feels really great. That satisfaction is really great. So when you see that a person is earning this money and he's keeping it for you, he keeps saying that this is for your education, and this is all for you, you have to spend. There's a sense of responsibility which comes, that yes, my father has done so much for me, I have to make him proud now, I have to do some things on my own without anyone's help. So yeah, money will not buy you everything. Sometimes you cannot buy confidence with money, you cannot buy trust, and obviously friends might come because of that, but true friendship you cannot buy that with money. Once a person sees that how humble you are, they'll automatically be attracted towards you, like real people, not fake people. Obviously real people will be attracted towards you. And I don't think wearing watches or having a good phone really defines a person or his relationships with others. So many of my friends were like, we are from such a small this, and why are you this friends with us, what do you want from us? I was like, we are friends for a reason. I help you, you help me. That's the thing about friendship. It's not about that how much my father earns or how much your father earns. That is totally different. They are our parents. Now this thing is between us, it's not between our parents or anything.
Correct. I think this is one of the important factors, because nowadays I think even you must have seen kids whose life is defined by money, whose life is defined by riches, their friendships are defined by riches, which really doesn't help them in the long run, but rather in the long run it makes them disappointed, because they end up saying that, oh, we never really had friends in life. I would like you to tell all our listeners is about the Rao experience, because I remember you telling me how you left it in between, and then you had decided that you would never you would make sure that you would never make your father feel that this was the worst decision.
I joined Rao IIT in April of 2017 for preparation of IIT JEE and CET and other competitive exams. But the day I started, like it was a week when I started going, in that week I realized that there are some things which were not taught to us, even though I being from a CBSE school and where everything was taught properly from the textbook, it was never, like they never taught us the basics. They used to go on formula which I have never heard of, from those people who are from IB schools and all. Like they were to the point, they didn't even need calculators for such huge number of mathematical expressions or anything, numericals or anything. They were so quick in that, but when it came to me, I never knew half of the formulas what would be taught there, and half of the concepts which were being taught. So I told my parents that this is not something I wanted. Like they are teaching too advanced stuff. We obviously spoke to them. They were like, now it will be completely advanced. The basic stuff will be around November and December. I was like, even if it is advanced, I won't be able to solve anything. So I decided to come back to Ahmednagar, because I thought that it will be better if I studied with those books what they have provided, and I'll study at home. So when I started studying here, it was much better because I was getting cleared with my basics and everything. We paid around 2 lakhs there, I guess, and that was on scholarship because I got 82% in 10. That's why I got scholarship. From 4 lakhs it became to 2 lakhs. But then those 2 lakhs went to waste when I left the academy.
In how many days did you leave it?
It was nearly 15 days I left the academy.
Oh.
So that is why when I came back to Nagar, I decided to try and give as many as exams I can in between or after 12, and try to get the best in that, so that money would not go totally in vain.
But still, I have seen many who do such things and are still not able to get anywhere in life. So, no, what do you think about this? I mean, it was clearly possible for you to come and sit back, late, relax, saying कि अरे ये तो राव से बहुत आसान है, so I don't really need to work hard. But you still worked hard. What exactly happened?
Not really. When I came back, I first thing called my tutor who used to come all these years to teach me, Vora sir. The first thing he said that you have come back. That means I am going to make you do more hard work than what they were doing there, because of the money you have paid. Because he felt really bad of what I had done, because he was been teaching me since 6th standard and he felt really bad. So he himself made it a point that whatever now has to be done will be done till full extreme end and everything. He made me study continuously. Even in 11th I came third in the first semester exam, and it kept on happening the same way throughout the year. And then when it came to the competitive exams, he started teaching me some extra things, and so I could cope up with those things also. Some concepts which were not taught in the state board. So yeah, because I think he and my parents were the only motivation I got throughout the year. Obviously, after I joined this class, and then yeah, because I would really like to thank him, because the amount of motivation he gave me throughout 11th was really good, and it kept my mind focused on the main exams which are about to come.
I think one of the most important parts of this is even you took it seriously. Otherwise, what happens is the typical student attitude is like to complain that we have so much, sir is getting done so many things from us, and I don't really want to do it, or it's too much of pressure. So I think your attitude also defined what you are today, and that is one of the best parts. What would you really like to tell others when it comes to studies? Because I've seen you prioritizing things. I keep on telling students so many times that this is the guy that I want you to be like. The logic is pretty simple. When I tell about Allan Prabhakar to students, first of all I tell him that he had read practically the textbook of every subject like 5 times, which is a huge task, because doing physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, electronics, so many textbooks at the same time is not a joke. At the same time, you also enjoy it. So when I tell the first part to the students that he has done a lot of hard work, students are usually like, अरे ये तो पूरा books में घुस के बैठा होगा. And then when I tell them that he used to play PUBG, he used to play Fortnite, he used to Netflix and chill, he used to do everything, he was like, sir, how is it really possible? So what would you really want to tell others that would help them in this?
First of all, it is not only about reading the textbook, it is reading and understanding each part of it. रट्टा तो कोई भी मार सकता है, रट्टा मार के सबको मार्क्स मिलेंगे, बट देन इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट कॉन्सेप्ट, you don't have to memorize it. That when it comes, the question comes in front of you, you will be automatically able to write it completely word to word, not even memorizing it. Just once you understand the concept, you can easily write it word to word. And then comes the teaching part. I never went to college. I used to come here. Then I used to go to Vision Academy and Vora sir in the evening at home. So I think for English, I had the best teacher.
Thank you so much.
Because by the time I finished with the classes, I was really good in grammar, which was my weakest point in English paper. Not about like the passages and all, I used to write good answers, because you have seen my paper. Yeah. And then the grammar became my plus point. Then it was obviously I was going to get more marks because of that. Then I had Chetan sir, who taught me electronics, one of the best sirs. And I think he's the only sir in Ahmednagar to teach electronics, because other sirs, other teachers, whoever are teaching in our college, first thing was like, you have to come to college because electronics or koi nahi sikhane wala hai. But then I met Chetan sir in 11th standard. He literally taught us everything. It was possible for him, he would bring us like the components and show us. He would explain each and everything, give us his own notes. And yeah, because of his notes, I think I've got these good marks today what I have in electronics. And the way he has motivated throughout the year was something very different, and I don't think any other sir would do that.
Correct.
And then obviously for maths and for maths, physics and chemistry, Vora sir used to come in the evening. For maths, he used to be very strict with me, because I was not good in maths in 10th standard, but in the 10th board exams he made me really good. And then he started giving me some things that caught my interest in maths. So I continually in 11th standard I started solving maths, and the child who used to get 35 out of 80 in 10th standard in prelim papers, I started getting, in the first time I got 48 on 50 in maths.
That's an improvement. Yeah. Real good improvement.
So he really got the best of me in maths. I was really interested in physics, because I was like, agar BTech nahi mila to bachelor's in physics I have to do that, because it's really interesting, physics laws, and how to apply those laws to different aspects of life is really, physics is everywhere basically. Correct. So correct. Physics was very interesting because of him. And chemistry chemistry was, I would not say it was my strongest point, but yeah, I was good in physics, in chemistry, and he really explained each and everything. Vora sir has really explained chemistry, which no one else can explain to me, I think, in the best way possible. So
Correct.
yeah, because of these three teachers, I think I have got those marks what I have today.
What would you tell the students how to plan? So, how would you guide them on really studying their part and getting serious about all the things?
I think you should not plan stuff, because for me planning, I used to say आज ये करता हूँ कल वो करूँगा, but it never really happened that way, because I used to end up doing some other subject the next day. So it is better to first complete the task what is on hand and then decide what you want to do. You should like have small goals, not आज ये करेंगे कल वो करेंगे परसों ये करेंगे, not. So have small goals instead of a really long term goal. Small goals are easy to complete and it keeps your interest, you know. So planning every single day is not a this. Planning a whole day is okay, not every day what you have to do.
Even if you plan some things for one day and you realize that you are honest with your plans, you complete the plans much before time, you have a lot of spare time, and you can then decide what to do with the spare time.
Yeah, because I mean, spare time is something the students don't have since they enter 10th standard. So once you start planning things accordingly and then you have spare time, it's really good actually, because then you can do other stuff in that instead of just studying. But you can, you know, you can go out, hang out with friends or something like that, and it, you know, takes your mind out of studies for some time. So yeah, if you start planning in a way that you plan for a whole day, that's much better than planning for every single day.
Correct. So I think if you plan accurately, you can study and you can also enjoy. Study in the sense you can complete your homeworks, you can self study and you can enjoy. I think much of the time of the students go into studies because they don't really study and they get distracted a lot. If they keep on continuing with what they do continuously, I think they would complete things much before time. They would have a lot of time on their hands to spend everywhere. I'm so delighted to have done this. I think it was great talking to you, and I really hope that this interview does reach a lot of people. People listen to it, people find it life changing. If not life changing, people at least get something from this, because even if they understand 1% of what we have spoken, I think it would really make a lot of difference in their life. So thank you so much for being reluctant, which made me keep on persuading you to do this again and again. I know for sure that Allan Prabhakar is going to touch the skies and we are going to be really proud. I'm very sure that you'll reach a point where everyone would be eagerly waiting to meet you. They would take appointments, they would take selfies, and I would proudly say that I want a wildcard entry. I'm not going to wait in any of the lines. All the best to you. Thank you so much for doing this, Allan.
Thank you for having me actually. It's not the point of me being here, it is the point that you have really you know, wanted to do this. It's like something different, I've not done any before. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Viewers, listeners, thank you for listening to this. I really hope you get something out of it. See you soon in the next video or audio really soon. If you loved listening to this podcast, please let us know in the comment section how did you find it. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so that you never miss an update from excellence classes. And do share this, spread the love. Thank you so much. See you soon.